Hey everyone, this is Future Izzy. I'm refilming my intro for this video because I just do not like the one I filmed on the day. This is a 2022 reading wrap up, so this is everything that I read in 2022. I don't go into particular detail with every book on this list. I just go into a little bit of detail about my thoughts and what it's about or why I read it, if I enjoyed it or if I really didn't like it. If you want to see just a list of everything I read, or if you want to keep up to date with what I'm reading in 2023, I will link my Goodreads down below. I think I might also start a story graph. I don't know too much about it, but I think I might give it a go. I hope you're all having a good start to 2023. Happy New Year to everyone, and I hope you enjoy this video. But yeah, I'm really excited to start filming content for you guys and reading some more this year. I read 56 books this year. My goal on Goodreads was 50, so I managed to get over that. I've set my goal for this year at 55 because I don't want to set it too high or too low, because if I set it too low, it's just going to be super easy for me. I don't want to go at like an extortionate amount just in case I don't get to there, because I don't want to disappoint myself. But yeah, have fun reading. Don't set a goal, do set a goal. Read one book, read one page, read 100 books. It doesn't matter, as long as you enjoyed what you did, then that's all that matters. So this is everything that I read in 2022.
The Graveyard Book by Neil Gaiman, Sweet Bean Paste by Jurin Sukagawa, Dinosaur Therapy, which was a very cute little self-help book, which I did own but can no longer find, so I don't know where I've put that. How to Kill Your Family by Bella Mackie. This has some really fun pink sprayed edges. It was a really good start to my reading year, and I would definitely recommend it. It's quite dark but funny at the same time. Maggot Moon by Sally Gardner. My Dark Vanessa by Kate Elizabeth Russell. Very easily a 5-star read. I would definitely look into any trigger warnings though before reading this. I just thought this was written superbly, and it is one of my favourite blurbs of all of the books that I read this year. I just think it captures you instantly. So it's definitely a recommended read for me, but again, do look into what this book is actually about before reading it. The Way of the House Husband, Volume 1 by Kazuki Uno. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. I really need to read some more of this series, and I won't lie, I kind of forgot that I actually read this volume. So the next few on this list I don't own physically, and I read them whilst I was at uni for a module called The Graphic Memoir. Blankets by Craig Thompson, Calling Dr. Laura by Nicole J. Georges, Making Comics by Linda Barry, and 100 Demons by Linda Barry. I really like Linda Barry's art style, and there's some really fun drawing prompts and just drawing videos that she has on YouTube, which I would really recommend you watching. I did a little bit of extra reading for the graphic memoir module and looked into Linda Barry because she was mentioned a few times in lectures. Making Comics is basically a collection of how she designs her own graphic novels and how she puts together her art. And 100 Demons is kind of like a graphic memoir. You can definitely tell it's been based off of her, but also I think it's got some more fictional elements in it as well. I just really like the way she puts it together. It has a very collage style. Lighter Than My Shadow by Katie Green. One of my favourite graphic novels on the module, and I would like to own this. It is a very big graphic novel, but I loved the art. I thought the story was really, it's quite upsetting because it does follow themes of like eating disorders, body dysmorphia, sexual assault, things like that. But especially along the eating lines, there was a lot of things that I could actually relate to, the way she tells it, and you can really see her growth as a person. I would really recommend it, but obviously only read it if it's something that you're comfortable reading. Mouse by Art Spiegelman. My Degeneration by Peter Dunlap Scholl. A Witch's Love at the End of the World, Volume 1 by Kujira. The Dutch House by Anne Patchett. This I definitely need to reread. I really enjoyed it. I know some people find it slightly boring. I quite liked it because there wasn't a huge sense of direction to the novel, but it basically follows these two siblings who live in this Dutch house and how much the house has kind of impacted them and impacted their family. It follows them from very young to them being adults with their own children, and I definitely need to reread it because I've been thinking about it ever since I read it right at the start of this year. Jujutsu Kaisen Volume 1 by Gigi Akutami. Fun Home, A Family Tragiomic by Alison Bechdel. The Story of Tracy Beaker by Jacqueline Wilson. This was definitely a comfort read. I was still at university and I found a section of children's literature and I spotted a Jacqueline Wilson book and I just had to read it because Jacqueline Wilson was one of my favourite authors when I was a child. I literally owned nearly all of her books and I actually went to a book signing to see Jacqueline Wilson, so it was very fun to revisit her stories at the age of 20. Jujutsu Kaisen Volume 2. Stitches by David Small, The Sleeper and the Spindle by Neil Gaiman, which is a sapphic retelling of Sleeping Beauty, which has really gorgeous artwork and is another book I borrowed from the library at my university. And I think I might have to try and get a copy of my own because it's really gorgeous. Almond by Won Pyong-son, translated by Jusun Lee. Violets by Alex Hyde, which is a very strange novel that I don't really know how to talk about all that much. I would definitely recommend looking into it because it's something that I really enjoyed. It has a dual narrative, so you're following two characters both named Violet, and it's written in more of a prose style, which I don't usually get along with very well, but actually I really enjoyed this. Quite a few things I had to underline in this because they were really quite darkly beautiful. Crying in H Mart by Michelle Zorner. 6 Crimson Cranes by Elizabeth Lim. I love this cover and I'm very excited to read the second book in this series. It's one of the first fantasy reads that I really fell in love with and just stormed through so quickly. Threads by Katie Evans, another book I read for the graphic memoir module at uni, and I do actually own this one because I had the wonderful pleasure of actually meeting Katie as she came in to do a guest lecture for us, which was really, really cool, and she got to talk about how she made this and her experience basically being a part of refugee aid. And she very kindly, I also have like a little mini comic that she gave. She very kindly signed it to both me and my friend. And she drew a little candle as well, which I thought was so cute. And she was really, really lovely. And I would love to meet her again and read some more of her work because this is really quite something. The art in here is really gorgeous. Very different to anything I read before, and it really incorporates different textures and styles. Beautiful Darkness. I really don't know how to pronounce this author's name. It's by Fabian Vellman and Kera Squat. I'm going to have to reread this one because when I first read it, I was really confused and just didn't know what I'd just read. But the art is really gorgeous. All That's Left in the World by Eric J. Brown. This is a queer love story in the middle of an apocalypse. Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief by Rick Riordan. Stranger Things, The World's Turned Upside Down, the official companion guide. I actually really enjoyed reading this. It's very mixed media and I would love some more mixed media fiction recommendations if any of you guys know them because I really liked reading this and I read it basically as soon after I finished watching Stranger Things season 4. Little Eyes by Samantha Schweblin, another book which I actually need to just own physically because I really enjoyed this and I need to read some more Samantha Schweblin. Me, My Dad and the End of the Rainbow, which is one of the first middle grade reads apart from Maggot Moon that I read this year, and I just thought this was really wholesome and beautiful and it was really nice to see a queer story and queer representation in middle grade books. A very big jump from the previous book, but it is My Year of Rest and Relaxation by Otessa Moshfegh. A 5-star read for me, 100%. I thoroughly enjoyed this. I like and also hate the narrator at the same time, and I had fun putting little pink tabs in this one and underlining some of my favourite quotes. Definitely needs to be reread. Another very successful read for me was Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I tried to read The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo as well this year and just couldn't get into it, so I thought I'd pick this one up and this one was perfect for me. 5 stars easily. I would love to see this adapted. I think it might be, or it might be another Taylor Jenkins Reid novel, but I'd love to see this adapted into a movie or a series, and it's definitely something I need to reread. I just stormed through this so quickly and it's quite a chunky book. I just love it. Highly recommend. The Silence of the Girls by Pat Barker. This Is How You Lose the Time War by Amal El Malta and Max Gladstone. This was sadly quite a low rated book for me. I think I gave it 2 stars on Goodreads because it just felt too mean to give it 1 star just because I personally didn't get along with the writing style. I just really didn't enjoy this book. I actually found it kind of boring and I just didn't really see any direction to it, and I just had no idea what was going on the whole time. The flowery language, I could see what it was trying to do, was really nice. However, it just kind of made you very lost in trying to understand the actual story. My Best Friend's Exorcism by Grady Hendrix. The Perks of Being a Wallflower by Stephen Chbosky. One of my favourite books and something I've actually read nearly every year for the past 3 years. I also adore the film. This book just really resonates with me and I just really love Charlie. First book in the Twilight series by Stephanie Meyer. I really enjoyed annotating it. As you can see, there's quite a few tabs in there. There is a little key to it. I really want to finish reading the Twilight series this year because I've never actually read it in its full entirety. I've watched the films so many times and it's fun. It's vampires, it's romance, it's fantasy, it's strange and uncool. It's great. Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath. The Secret History by Donna Tartt. Another book that I really want to reread and annotate because I just wanted to fully immerse myself in the story before annotating this, and I loved it. I just loved the whole vibe. I loved the dark academia feeling and just spoiled rich kids running around doing rich kid things. Earthlings by Sayaka Murata. Not a book I enjoyed. It's not a bad book by any means. I just had no idea of the themes in it. I definitely look into it before you read it, but it focuses on sexual assault, sexual abuse, rape, cannibalism, mental illness, incest. So many themes that are quite triggering in this, which I had no idea before going into. And I don't usually get put off by a lot of books when they have quite heavy themes. This one genuinely made me feel sick, I felt queasy, nauseous reading this. So I have given that one away. Someone else can read that and enjoy it if they want to, but it was just not for me. I thought I would enjoy it because I really liked Convenience Store Woman, but this is a very different story. So definitely look into it before you read it. Do not get misled by the cute hedgehog on the front of the cover. Woman Eating by Claire Coda. The only words I really have to describe this one is just quiet. Heaven by Meiko Kawakami. Quite an intense read on very severe physical, mental, emotional bullying, and it's something that I really wanted to read for a little while because I've seen everyone kind of recommending it, and I think it's a very good book. It is just quite dark. Burnt Sugar by Avni Doshi. The Girl from the Sea by Molly Knox Ostrag. Love in Focus Volume 1 and Love in Focus Volume 2. And I completed the Percy Jackson series. So I read Percy Jackson and the Sea of Monsters, The Titan's Curse, The Battle of the Labyrinth, and The Last Olympian. So much fun reading it, and I actually went out and bought the Heroes of Olympus series, which are on here. Where are they? There they are. I cannot wait for the Disney Plus Percy Jackson series to come out. I'm so excited about that. I think only the second non-fiction book I've read this year, and that is Friends, Lovers and the Big Terrible Thing by Matthew Perry. I think this was really well written. It really did feel like you could hear Matthew Perry's voice through this, and it was very reminiscent of the character he played in Friends, Chandler Bing. You could definitely hear his voice in it as well. I think that has really become a part of Matthew Perry. I don't rate memoirs because I don't think that's fair. It's someone's life experience. I don't think you can really give that a star rating or say whether it's good or bad, but I definitely do think that this was written very well, and I think Matthew Perry really put this together in a way that was cohesive, and it didn't just jump out all over the place. It followed a timeline. It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. I finally gave in and read a Colleen Hoover book, specifically It Ends With Us, which I know is a very popular one. I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would. I don't think it was an amazing book, and the themes of abuse and physical violence were a lot more apparent than I thought they were going to be. I was somewhat aware that they were in the book, but I didn't realise they'd be quite that graphic. It was a good book. It was interesting and very easy to read. It's not something that I would say is necessarily my preference. I don't read a lot of romance. Maybe I just need to broaden my horizons with the romance genre, so please do recommend me anything you think I'd like. And the last book I read this year was The City of Bones by Cassandra Clare, the first book in the Shadowhunters Mortal Instruments series. I own the whole series. I actually started reading this quite a few months ago and just put it down. I decided to pick it back up because I want to start finishing books that I've like halfway read, and I really enjoyed this actually. I'm excited to see where this series goes. It was easy to read and I like the characters, I like the way the story's going. So that is everything that I read in 2022. I hope you enjoyed that. If you would like to hear more about some of these books, then please do let me know, and maybe I'll make like a dedicated video going into some of my favourite or least favourite reads from the year. I'm very excited about the reading endeavours for 2023, and I wish you all a happy new year. Please look after yourselves and stay safe and enjoy reading. So yeah, okay. Thank you for watching everyone, and I will see you all again very soon. Bye.